Hey, Mr. Wood, I'm Chase Barker with NetSuite. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Chase.
So I was able to come by your company, I believe it's Two Sisters, a Brother and a Truck, on one of our websites that we use to generate new leads for clients called Lead Ferret. And I was able to find some information on your company. And seeing as I'm with a customer relationship management program, I was just wondering if you had some time. I know it's the spring and you're busy moving a lot of people in and out of various locations, but if you had some time, I'd love to ask you a few questions about your company and seeing where you guys are currently at.
Yeah, man. I've got about 20 minutes, so
okay,
not too much time, but
yeah, perfect. It might not even take that long, so perfect. So basically, what I was able to find is that you guys have about 25 employees, generate a revenue of $7 million in fiscal year of 2015. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah, $7 million last year.
Awesome. So do you guys operate solely out of Atlanta? Because that's obviously where you guys are headquartered. Do you have multiple different facilities that you guys work out of?
Right now, we only have one. That's our office. We do operations, but we have several different services, including long distance moving. So we don't just work in Atlanta. We're flexible with the movers, or we're flexible with the person moving, and we want to tailor to any of their needs.
Definitely. So you guys offer about 9 different services as well. You said like offering moving from in-state and out-of-state, packaging and unpackaging and loading, just not residential moving, correct?
Yeah, correct.
But residential moving takes up the majority of your revenue, I would assume,
yeah,
correct?
That's our number one revenue maker.
All right, so basically, if you guys have one location in Atlanta, online on Lead Ferret, I was able to see that you guys have 4 different sales employees and salespeople. How do their sales territories necessarily work? How are they divided? Are they broken up in the state of Georgia? Or did they expand outside of the state of Georgia? Basically, how does that work? Can you explain?
It's all together. They're just all 4 salespeople on our staff, and actually all the owners are the ones that contact each potential client, because we want to work with those clients and provide a more personal experience, and then our sales team kind of takes it from there, shows them our different services, and they see if they're interested.
So do you guys have a system in place right now that kind of keeps track of who they're going after, who they've been after, who you guys are currently with, or are you guys just kind of functioning on Excel spreadsheets or something, and like communication within the organization? There's not like any type of program in place that helps you basically keep track of it all or anything?
Yeah, I'd say we use sort of an Outlook system, and we do our best to keep track of everything. But I do see a problem with our current system that we're using, which is kind of why I wanted to meet with you today, because I think that we could do a little bit better from an organizational standpoint, at being all inclusive and everyone knowing what's going on and everyone working together from the client's perspective and our sales team to our movers.
Definitely, yeah. So you also talk about quality assurance, because you guys obviously are an employee-owned company. One of your biggest selling points is quality assurance with every move. So do you guys also, that probably falls on your customer service representatives, but do they have a system or some type of way of keeping track of who is currently being moved? Because obviously it's the springtime right now. You guys are dealing with a heap ton of people. Do they have a system that effectively translates from the sales team the people who've had movings closed and the people who basically the sales team needs to get, or that the customer service representatives need to get in contact to assure that their move is going smoothly, basically?
We have a follow-up policy to follow up and make sure that the movers that came in and helped out, that it was acceptable. But it's difficult to gauge the overall experience for them. We have no way of knowing how satisfied they were with the move. From my standpoint, I would like to be able to know more of an interactive way of being able to see what to improve on, what we did right, what we did wrong, and then to possibly provide us with things that we need to work on.
Yeah, definitely. Is there any chance that you guys are struggling, because you said that residential moving takes up the majority of your revenue, or it's where the majority of your revenue is generated, basically expanding your other 8 services of your business for example, like your packaging and unpackaging, like basically trying to generate leads and get people aware of those services that are offered and stuff?
Yeah, we do offer those services, and I do think, like you said, with as far as the leads for those other services, that we could do a better job at that, because we want to be. I would like to increase revenue, obviously, and that's kind of why we decided to offer more services, because we don't want to just be movers. We would like to offer other services, but like you said, sometimes we have difficulty with those leads just because, if someone needs help unpacking, they're probably, they could ask their friends and stuff
Or their
like that.
movers or whoever they have, they don't necessarily
Yeah.
consider you guys immediately first off the top of their mind. So I'm hearing a lot of problem with basically generating leads and keeping up with the current customers and giving them quality assurance and assuring that everyone is receiving the same service and quality. Is that somewhere in the ballpark of where you guys might be at right now?
Yeah, I'd say so.
And for example, do you have any gauge or ability to gauge your sales team performance and how you guys compared to the last year or the year before, and basically like an inclusive tracking system that basically puts all of them at the same competitive level to push them?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, I look at it from a year-to-year basis and see where our sales are at from the last year to this year, and I see from my sales team what they're doing. Like each salesperson, I sit down with them at the end of the year. I look over their revenues they've produced, but I don't think that I have an all-inclusive type system where I can look at everything all at once. I mean, it's just kind of like me going back and keeping track myself.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think that this lack of internal organization for two sisters, a brother and a truck, could potentially lead to employee dissatisfaction or lack of employee productivity, basically, from all the chaos and their ability to not organize all the information that they need to conduct business successfully?
I think it could lead to dissatisfaction, yeah. I mean, we provide a lot of services, and that can get troublesome sometimes because there's a lot going on, and I don't think we do as good of a job as we could have with synchronizing it all together and making sure everything runs smoothly. I think that we could use a bigger sales team. I think we could use some more movers with all of our services. We're looking to expand, but like you said earlier, we had trouble with those leads, getting leads for these services. So we're honestly not sure moving forward if we're going to be able to keep all of those services.
So do you guys think that by not being able to keep those services and ensuring quality assurance with all of your services to all of your customers, that you then potentially have negative word of mouth about your company, customer dissatisfaction or customer disloyalty, which then would lead to negative revenues, less revenues than what you guys had in 2015, and potentially your company having to downsize or anything?
Yeah, I think that's definitely a problem. I'm looking for a system that is going to allow me to not run that risk, because I do see certain problems with our expanding, and I'm worried about us trying to do too much too soon. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Definitely.
we are growing, but are we doing it the right way?
Yeah. No,
That's
that
really
makes
what
sense.
it comes down to.
So I really think that NetSuite has a lot of these benefits that 2SBT is basically after, and with the all-inclusiveness, it basically manages your entire business, from your sales team, your management team, all the way through your movers. It puts everyone on the same page. It essentially allows your whole organization to collaborate financially, operationally, and allows for the maximum efficiency that your company can basically reach. Is that something that you guys think you might be interested in?
Certainly.
So
tell me a little bit more, like, specifics about some of these.
basically, I see that you guys are also having a lot of trouble generating leads, new customer clients, and breaking down sales territories, for example, like within the college market. That's a big demographic you guys could hit. With the our benefit of being able to track our leads and current customers, asking for referrals, and being able to expand your target and generating those leads in specific niche markets like that, you'll be able to then generate more revenue from those markets and become the head honcho, so to speak, of those niche markets.
Okay.
And cost-wise, basically what it breaks down to is about $15,000 per month, $180,000 per year, which is about 2.5% of your total revenue. And with the benefits that could be provided from NetSuite, generating more leads, generating more customers, generating new markets, expanding your sales territories, and basically putting everyone on the same page organizationally and capability-wise, you'd be able to at least increase your revenue by 5 to 10% easily in the first 6 months for sure.
Okay, well, that's so you give me those numbers of 5 to 10% increase.
That's based on the 40 clients that I've dealt with in the past year working at NetSuite. That is the average return that I have seen in my 40 clients, 5 to 10%.
So going back, so you've told me that I'll be able to generate more leads and better access these little niche markets, like the college market. So basically, like, can you just give me a little more info about how I would be able to do that with this CRM package? Like, is it, like, give me...
So if you were able to basically generate a list of 1,500 students at a different college campus, each college campus in the state of Georgia, and it were to give you a phone number, an email address, and it would remind you to call 500 of those people on one day, 500 of them on the next day, 500 of them on the next day. So you would
and
always...
my sales team sees the same thing?
Your sales team, management team, your floor people even see the exact same team that everyone needs to see.
And
so it's basically...
And they're getting their own reminders, or is it just...
Yep, they get generated calendar reminders on a daily basis of what they need to do, the goals that they need to be meeting. It allows you to be able to forecast and better plan where your company needs to be and where it can be for the future.
Okay. That's definitely something that I think would help out.
Well, awesome. If we could get maybe a signature on a piece of paper today, we could be able to meet up and talk about implementing maybe next week and get you guys going with NetSuite.
So as far as price, you said $180,000 a year.
To what generates, it turns into about 2.5% of y'all's revenue.
Okay, and that's just every year going forward?
Every year going forward is
Straight
basically
price.
based on your company's size. Yeah, it's about $15,000 a month.
Okay, and you said you've worked with 40
clients that I've had around the Atlanta area and in the state of Georgia that have all seen them basically a 5 to 10% upturn in revenue within the first 6 months of implementing NetSuite.
Or these small businesses?
Small to medium-sized businesses, yeah.
Okay, so I'm doing $7 million right now, and you're telling me I can increase my revenues 5 to 10%.
In the first 6 months.
And this is going to cost me 2.5%, you're saying?
Yes.
Well, you know, if what you're saying is true, then it's clearly something that we need to do. So.
And if there's any problem with implementing the process, implementing the system, I'm always here. I'm able to come back and train your employees. I will implement and train your employees efficiently. I learned the system in 1 day myself. So it's not a hard system to learn. Everyone will be able to get on the same page quickly, efficiently, and it'll be able to turn your business around like that.
Okay, so this is something that is fairly easy to implement.
Definitely.
Quickly.
Yes.
So you don't think I'm like gonna lose much?
No, I don't think the downturn of not having 2 or 3 days of having to implement this or get it going, it is worth it in the 6 months of you turning that revenue into 10%.
Well, Chase, you know what? I've been thinking about finding a CRM package. I've looked around. I've heard about NetSuite. I didn't know, you know, everything that you knew. Like, you've impressed me with your knowledge. Obviously, you know a lot about it. But you know, I'm worried about the cost. But you tell me that these revenues that we're missing out on right now, and you know, I'm gonna do it for. Can I have a year contract?
That's perfect. We can do a year, and then we can continue to check up every month, every 3 months, whatever you guys feel comfortable with, to see where your business is at, where we can gauge them and push them even higher than that.
Okay. And what about before I sign a contract? Could we do a demo? Or
yeah, definitely. No, we can come in and we can show you guys how it's going to be implemented, the whole process of what it's going to go through, and we can show the whole team, your whole organization, what that's all going to be about.
Okay. Well, we'll do that, and I'll talk to my 2 sisters. I'm on board. I want them to see it at the demo. So, can you do that next week?
Yeah, that's perfect. How does Monday sound at about noon?
Yeah, that'll work. And I'll have the sisters there, and we'll have the sales team, management team. You show them how to do it, and if it looks like it's something that's going to be easy to implement, we'll make it happen right there.
Awesome. Sounds great, Andy.
All
Thank
right,
you for your
perfect.
time.
No problem.